12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, what should have been a beautiful, life-changing experience turned into a nightmare when a woman and her baby died after experiencing complications during a home birth. And now the state plans to revoke the midwife's license.
Jordan Terry and her son Mac died from complications during a home birth delivery. Tonight, the I-Team's Bianca Bono spoke with Jordan's husband, who said the midwife ignored warning signs and waited too long to get help.
We called each other our twin flames. It was just like we were supposed to be there.
Parker and Jordan Terry's love story is one out of a fairy tale. Parker from Utah and Jordan from Safford, Arizona met at a bar in Scottsdale. Eventually, he would propose and move to Arizona to start their life together.
She was genuine. She was authentic. She'd give it the shirt off of her back.
Jordan was a registered nurse and she loved babies, working in the emergency room and cross-training to become an OB nurse with the ultimate goal of being a midwife.
She wanted to have the experience of a home birth so that when she was a midwife, she knew exactly what her patients were going to be going through.
Jordan had already had 2 children in hospitals, so when she was pregnant with her third, she decided to work with Sarah Kankowitz, a midwife whose website described her experience with home births, and she came recommended. On December 17th, Jordan went into labor.
I just remember, all the Christmas decorations are up, that vision that we had. I was like, it's a reality now.
Parker notified their videographer and messaged Kankowitz, who lived 3 hours away, telling her to leave soon. She showed up 6 hours later, and a State Department of Health Services investigation would later show she failed to protect her patients.
At what point were you concerned?
When I first noticed color in Jordan's face be lost. And I let Sarah know that there's no color, and all you hear her say is she's doing okay.
Parker, hopeful the medical professional they had hired was right. Jordan's lips then turned blue.
And they said it's probably low blood sugar. Give her a spoonful of honey and she'll be fine.
But she wasn't.
That's kind of her last words that she said was call them. And Sarah clarified, call the ambulance, and Jordan said yeah.
Jordan lost consciousness as Parker drove her and the baby to the hospital. Their baby boy, Mac, wouldn't survive. Jordan suffered a uterine rupture and internal bleeding. She was airlifted to Tucson, but doctors couldn't save her.
Where your family's supposed to grow, you lose. Matter of 12 hours, all of a sudden you lose a kid, and about 12 hours from there, you lose a wife.
Right away, he had questions for Kankowitz.
It was immediate sitting in the hospital just thinking, what did we do?
The next shock for Parker would come just 2 weeks later when Kankowitz posted on social media a year in review saying she helped deliver 31 babies, 3, including Mac, she marked with an angel. Ultimately, her continued social media posts prompted Parker to turn to social media too. That's when he learned he was not alone.
My biggest fear was that this was going to happen to someone else.
Heather Flowers worked with Kankowitz to deliver her baby at home back in 2020, nearly losing her life and her child's.
It's affected my life every single day.
Flowers struggled through delivery, only to learn her daughter was 11 pounds, tearing her body apart. She alerted state regulators, who found Kankowitz didn't check her vital signs every 2 to 4 hours. She downplayed her laceration, and she didn't arrange for immediate transport to the hospital.
It absolutely haunts me that 4 years ago something could have been done about this.
According to records obtained by the I-Team, Kankowitz has had multiple complaints, 3 of which resulted in citations, including Jordan and Mac's deaths. The state now intending to revoke her license.
It should have been revoked a long time ago. And if it did, my wife would have still been here.
And one of the most egregious findings is that Sarah Kankowitz was prohibited from doing Jordan's home birth from the onset. That's because Jordan had previously had a C-section and a blood transfusion. The state issued a notice to revoke Sarah's license back in March, and she has been allowed to continue practicing in the meantime. A settlement conference is scheduled for her tomorrow. We're live in studio. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, such a shame. Thank you so much, Bianca.
Well, now to our ongoing coverage of teen violence. Tonight, the Gilbert Town Council unanimously voted to adopt 2 new ordinances aimed at keeping kids safe. The first bans the possession of brass knuckles by anyone under the age of 18. The council also clarified that the order applies to all knuckles, including other types of metal. The second ordinance targets unruly gatherings, in many cases making the property owner responsible for loud, rowdy parties. Chandler will consider two similar changes later this week.
And this comes on the same day that a Gilbert teen pled guilty to aggravated assault for his alleged role in an assault at a party back in December of 2022. Brass knuckles were used in that attack, according to the court documents. 18-year-old Cody Kosteritz pled guilty to that charge today. Court documents show that he admitted to being at the party and helping to assault the victim. He is scheduled to be sentenced on July 9th.
There's new video tonight that shows the moments before a Phoenix police officer shot and killed a suspect outside of Carl Hayden High School earlier this month. A Phoenix police officer was searching for a shoplifting suspect when they say 27-year-old Christopher Tavares began firing at the police car, hitting it several times. The officer shot back while still inside the car. Bullets can be seen hitting the field behind the suspect. The officer then gets out of the car and fires again. Tavares was hit and was rushed to the hospital where he later died. The shooting is still under internal investigation.
For the second time in just less than a week, the Surprise community is reeling tonight after police say a father killed his two young children. That father, identified as 34-year-old Brock Matter, then died by suicide. It happened yesterday at a home near Bell and Litchfield Roads. We're told that the mother dropped the two kids off, ages 6 and 7, over the weekend. She got concerned after neither child showed up at school. Surprise police say that Matter was currently undergoing mental health treatment.
Today, 11 of the 18 defendants charged in connection with Arizona's fake elector scheme appeared in court for the first time, each of them pleading not guilty. Some of the defendants appeared in person, while others, like former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani, appeared virtually. The judge ordered Giuliani to appear in Arizona within the next 30 days for further booking and to post a $10,000 bond. All 11 defendants are expected back in court in July for a pretrial hearing.
Tonight, only on 12 News, another driverless crash on the streets of Phoenix. Earlier today, a Waymo was going to pick up some riders when it hit a pole.
12 News journalist Chase Golightly is live at the crash scene at 7th Avenue and Roosevelt. And Chase, I can understand why those passengers decided to find another way to get to their destination.
Mark Kriebe, yeah, they didn't really like what they saw today, and experts tell us while these crashes are rare, they still happen. This isn't how Jerica Mitchell thought her Waymo experience would go.
This is going to be our first time riding one.
She and her friend are visiting the Valley from Arkansas and had always wanted to ride in one.
Because we've always seen them, like on Instagram.
So they ordered it. And while waiting for its arrival near 7th Avenue and Roosevelt in Phoenix, this happened.
Yeah, we were real shocked.
The driverless car was going down this alley and crashed into a pole that was off to the side, crushing the front end of the car.
We heard the smack at first, but we didn't realize that it was the car.
Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it was still a shock, not only to Mitchell, but experts who specialize in these sophisticated cars.
What did surprise me is just how much the car has crumpled up. This is a serious collision between a pole and a car.
Andrew Maynard is a professor of advanced technology transitions at ASU. When we asked how could a smart car like this crash into a stationary object, he says it's an issue Waymo struggle with.
Most of the time, they do an incredibly good job. But sometimes there is something that seems obvious to us as humans, but doesn't seem obvious to the algorithms. And I suspect that this is what's happened here.
In the past 2 weeks, we've seen other incidents on social media, like this Waymo driving into oncoming traffic in Tempe on Rural Road near the US 60. And this one swerving in and out of its lane at 15th Avenue, south of Thomas.
There are things that they seem to struggle with, but that list of things is getting smaller and smaller every week.
For Mitchell, she called Waymo support, who gave her a full refund, and called her another Waymo. It also took the same alleyway and got stuck behind the crash.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I'm a little unsure.
After her experience on Tuesday, she said she's going to pass on driverless cars for now.
We thought about it, and we're going to take it as a sign.
Now, the National Highway a federal administration is actually investigating Waymo at this time, looking into 17 crashes involving the driverless vehicle. We're told that 8 of them happened right here in the valley. Now, we did reach out to Waymo for a statement in regards to today's crash, but haven't heard back at this time. We're live in Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks.